What?
Small pour, you're first. How's it going? And second. We'll get some more people in here and then we'll go over this. So, if anybody shows up, notifications have been screwed up. Small pour, I didn't even know you were live. And then Steve Berger uploaded a video. I didn't even know about that. Alan Bequette, Jason Perry, Next Gen, Nickney Lion. All right. So, I'm not going to do too many shout-outs. We're going to get to the point here. So, hey, Daniel, what's up?
Nothing, just you making a liar out of yourself. Certainly is fun.
Jeffrey, what's up? Kimosabi. All right, so as of tomorrow, I will have my own apportioned plate for the truck. And it's been a process. So I figured I would go over that process because if you do Google, and you'll have to forgive me if I don't read a lot of the comments because I'm gonna get my point out without trying to be, distracted. Outlaw Trucker, is the truck still in the shop? No, it's out. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so we are tomorrow. Well, actually today. I finally got my account started, and tomorrow is when the billing actually starts, and total cost was $1,700 and $1,710 is what it came out to. So now this is the Missouri IRP, otherwise known as the International Registration Plan. This is what you need if you want to get your own license plate for your truck, okay? If you're an owner-operator. Now, those of you who are Snyder national owner-operators, Snyder supplies that plate, okay? Nomadic Nana, it's for motor carrier. It's a trucking thing. It's watch the video. I'll kind of explain it. Every state is different, okay? And I looked online, and MoDOT, the Missouri DOT Department of Transportation website, had the information, but there's no videos about it. There's no step-by-step process about it, so I figured I would do that. There's a couple of drivers I've talked to that tried to help me out, but by the end of the day, they were confused to the forms that you need, and it can be a confusing process, especially if you're a new owner operator. Now, when I signed on the Landstar, I was buying a truck for the first time and doing the application process for Landstar at the same time, so a lot of the paperwork went over my head. The recruiter wasn't much help at Landstar because it's a third-party recruiter, and a lot of things were confusing. So, let's get to it. Snyder supplies your plate. So, it takes a lot of the headache out. But also, it can kind of leave you not knowing what some of the processes are. So, if you want to go to a company such as Like Trucking, Traveloco, Advanced supports their own, supplies your plate, but Traveloco and Like Trucking, you have to have your own. There's a lot of small companies where you need that. Now, if you work for a company like Landstar or Snyder, where you're allowed to have your own plate, I would highly suggest doing that, because then if something ever happens, your lease cancels, you're good to go. You don't have to have a temporary plate just to get home. Okay? Thanks for the congratulations, guys. Okay, so this is for Missouri, and it might be similar in other states, so this is what I did, okay? So the first thing you come across is you go to Missouri Department of Transportation's website, and they have an application, looks like this. And on that application, basically what they do is they tell you to call, okay? And the reason why they have you call is because I'm going to turn off the comments here so I don't get distracted. Okay, so I told the lady I wanted to do a brand new international registration plan. That's it right there, okay? And what she did is she checked off that because it's the same application for getting your IRP, your Ifta, your Interstate Operating Authority, 72-hour trip and or fuel permit, and an oversized overweight. It's all in the same thing, okay? So what she does, or the lady, at MoDOT, what she does is she asks you a few questions. Just IRP, it gets check marked, just like that, okay? And then, are you permit service? She checks no for you. And then she sends you a PDF file of the 10-page application form. Now, it's 10 pages, but you don't have to fill out all the pages because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't pertain to you. So, the first page that you fill out is basically Section 1, General Information. That's got your Social Security number, your EIN number, DOT number of the carrier that you're leased onto, the carrier that is responsible for safety. So, if you're at Snyder National, you put Snyder's DOT number. There's a box that you check mark that says, do you plan on leasing to someone else in the year? Then you say, if you are, then you say yes, okay? At Snyder National, I'm allowed to have my own plate. So I'd put Snyder National because I don't know how long it's going to take to get over to my next venture. And then as you fill out the form right there, you hover the cursor over the field of where you're filling in. Okay, lack of a better term. So what that does is it's kind of like if someone's step by step going over it with you. Okay, most of the stuff is pretty simple. Okay, it's just like filling out a tax form. They'll ask for the truck name, number, and just in case you guys didn't know what that was, that's my son. Putting chocolate on his ice cream, not anything gross. He'll do that in the kitchen. So. Okay, so here's a couple of things. They're gonna ask what type of truck. You're gonna put diesel, unladen weight. That information will be on registration. If you're with Snyder, it'll be on your cab card there. Vehicle type, truck tractor, your year, make of your truck, your VIN number. Weight group will be 80,000 pounds. And then they'll want the date of purchase of the truck. Okay? That form's pretty simple. Pretty straightforward. If it's a new account, there's a lot of areas that you leave blank. They'll ask for commodity class. You're going to say all. And then they're going to ask how many vehicles you want to add, and you just add the tractor, trailer, whatever you want to add. They're going to want the trailer amount of axles too. Like, even though the plate's not for the trailer, they're going to want to know that you're pulling a trailer with how many axles. So that'll be, two axles if you're a standard drive-in. So that's the other form. Now, one of the other things, going through my paperwork here, is, and forgive me, I should have been more organized here. Okay, here's the big one, okay? They've got a chart for all the miles that you're going to run, that you've ran, okay? And in my case, I needed the miles that I drove between February of when I bought the truck to July. They'll tell you what dates they have to have. Now, if you're a Snyder owner-operator, Where you get that information is off your Ifta report. And any other company that you're at, you should have an Ifta report that you can download or look at. And it'll tell you for each month the amount of miles that you drove in each state. For example, on this form here, like but in that time period, I drove 15,534 miles in Missouri alone. And they have each state listed, and I put the amount in each state. Like Kentucky was 96. Illinois was 7,167. Oklahoma was 9,460. And it basically tells them where you're driving. And it kind of gives you an idea where you're driving too. The total actual miles that I drove in those 6 months, in that 5-month period, was 47,855 miles. So it's got the total right there. Now this chart here that you'll see is for if you want to be above 80,000 pounds in each jurisdiction. So, sorry, I can't talk. So, you just leave that blank because you're not going to haul over 80,000 pounds. So, now, the other important thing, this is where it gets tricky, guys, okay? It's going to tell you the IRP required documents. That'll be on this form. You're going to print out, because the way they do the PDF, it's a non-savable PDF. You can fill out the blanks and put your numbers on it, like that. Sorry, I don't have a whiteboard. It's going to look like that, okay? But you can't save it. So as soon as it's filled out, you have to print it out. Now, my printer's been on the fritz, and it just about got destroyed because it wouldn't print all the pages, and when it did, it printed them at random. I had to kind of put them in the right order because you can't just save the file. I don't know why they do that. Probably because they want you to print it out and actually physically sign it instead of using a PDF signer. And you have to use Acrobat Reader. You have to use that. So, out of the 10 documents or 10 pages that you print out, and it is literally 10 pages, that's not an exaggeration, a lot of it's instructions like this, okay? The required supporting documents you're going to need to get your own plate is the Missouri title or validated titling receipt for your truck, okay? Federal heavy use vehicle tax, that's your $22.90. You're going to need a copy of that. Now in Missouri, we have to have the Missouri County Personal Property Receipt or Waiver, and that's where it got tricky for me. And then you have to have the lease agreement. For your Snyder and Landstar guys, that's your Schedule A. That's the part that's in your truck, that you should have in your truck, that tells the truck information and the signature of you and of Snyder in your lease agreement. Okay. Now, here's where the property receipt and waiver comes in. If you guys don't know, there's a YouTuber named Spartan, and he's the one that's getting a truck given to him and getting his own authority, all paid for, and everything basically ready to go for a year for him. He is a Missouri resident, so he and I have been talking about property taxes and commercial trucks and all that, okay? When I first started, I started an LLC, okay? That is Doomy Tunes Transportation, okay? And what I learned is that if the truck is titled under your LLC, then you have to have a separate property account for the Greene County for that truck. In other words, my personal property tax with my personal vehicles and all that did not count. So I needed to get a waiver, which is no problem because I bought the truck last year in February. Now, had I bought it in December of 2016, I would have needed to pay property tax. And I was glad I found this out because I did not know that. So that was pretty easy to get. I just went down to the local courthouse, got my waiver, showed him the title of the truck, and there it was. So, you know, and as of next year, I'll be paying property tax on the truck itself. Now, every state is different. So, you know, that's some information you can use or not use. But if you have a commercial truck, if it's under your own personal name as a sole proprietor, then you need to put it on your property taxes. This is Missouri. If you have it under your LLC name, then it needs to be under that. Okay. So I had to have proof of Missouri residency to get my plate. And the 6 options, you need 3 of them. One is your driver's license. One is your personal real estate tax receipt, which I had that for my personal property tax. Missouri corporation papers. That's when you open your LLC, when you start that up, they send you like, you know, like a stamped paper. Looks like a, I don't know, you know, it has your articles of organization, and it has basically it's a, what's the term I'm looking for? You know, it's like you see on the plaques on the wall. It looks like that. It's got, you know, this fancy stuff, you know. I sound like an idiot. Here, let me show you guys. Bear with me here. It's going, when you get your LLC started, you're going to get one of these. And then that's the article of organization. And it looks like this. There. That's what it looks like. Okay. So basically, I sent them copies of that. Okay. Now, organization is key because here, and I'll tell you why, guys, here in a second. Okay. The other items: federal income tax filed from address in Missouri, utility bill, or a Missouri title validated titling receipt. So I already had my license, I already had my tax receipt, had my waiver, I had my Missouri corporation papers, and I had the title. So that was enough for all the documents. So when I turned everything in, it was all right the first time, except for the miles, because I wrote down the wrong miles for the wrong period. So she called me up, say, just fill out this form again by hand and do the correct miles for the correct period, and then that's how they bill you. So the bill came out to $1,710.30. I was able to pay on the phone with an e-check. You can use a credit card, but they charge you 2%. So what's 2% of $1,700? That's how much it costs. Organization is key because all those documents, and Jeffrey Light can attest to this. And again, I can't see the comments right now, guys. When Jeff got his own authority, the people that he got it through were impressed with his streamlining and how well he had it done, because he had everything, all the ducks lined up in a row. Now, when I signed on with Snyder, I did not have all my paperwork in the right place. And every time I didn't have a piece of paper for the recruiter at Snyder, it was a delay of about a week, because Snyder recruiters are not the easiest people to get a hold of. And they call you, you don't call them. And I did my application in September and didn't get signed on until the end of December because I didn't have my 2290 on me, and I didn't have the paperwork in a good place at home where my wife could just grab it and send it to me. So it became an ordeal. So organization is extremely important when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm one of the worst ones about that. You know, I went and bought one of these. It is a file folder of all the paperwork stuff. This has my bank accounts, and all that kind of stuff. Bank accounts, truck papers, my maintenance book is in there. So that's how you get the IRP. Once she has all that paperwork, I email. Okay, we're back. I turned it in on Sunday via email. The email address is on the top right there. And Monday morning, I had a phone call. She was setting it up. The only thing that was weird is she was confused. She thought I was trying to get my intrastate authority, and I told her no. And then once I explained it to her, she's like, oh, okay. And she said she was half asleep. So the lady was extremely helpful. I'm going to turn on the chat now. So I'm going to go through the chat, answer any questions, and so I hope that helps. I know it might have been a little bit scrambled, but like I said, there's no other resources besides the MoDOT website that kind of goes over step by step of how you do it. And even then, the people I talked to at MoDOT have been nothing but nice to me. They were extremely helpful. The lady, Marissa, she was extremely nice. So when I called this morning to make the payment, because here's the thing, guys. I was literally downstairs at Kenworth getting my estimate for what the repair of the truck was going to cost. The same exact time, like they literally said, oh, it's going to be this much money. She calls me and says, hey, you're approved. You're going to owe this much. So I told her, I said, look, I just had a big repair. I don't know how much it's going to cost. So I'll just get a hold of you tomorrow. So the next day, she said, okay, I'm going to bill it for February 1st. That gives you time to see where your ducks are at. And then once I knew what the repair cost, then I went ahead and got it. So let's go over the question, guys. Again, I had the chat off. I apologize, but I don't want to do the and be distracted. So the Blue Moon Johnny Sacco was last night. So all right, everybody's laughing. See, I'm going way back. So all right, we're doing shout outs here. So let's start. If anybody's got any questions, chime in. What's the benefit of having it with Snyder? Fred, the advantage of having your own plate with Snyder is that if Snyder was to drop your lease, in other words, let's say you drop a trailer by accident or you get a ticket and they're like, see ya, then you don't have a legal way to take the truck anywhere. By owning your own plate, you have more control of your business. That's the benefit. Okay. Now the other benefit is if I decide to switch companies, I could do it like that. So, all right. Everybody's asking about the truck. Okay. So what happened was the truck clutch went out. It was completely fried. If you follow me on Facebook, you saw the pile of dirt. Looks like dirt, but it's metal shavings. And there's a picture of the clutch. They said it was just spinning freely. They said that if I had tried to run another load under that, I would have had a tow bill. So I made the right decision by getting it to the shop. The truck is fixed. It's running like a dream, between Kenworth and my house. And it costs a total of $3,745 and some change. They did, remember when Circus Boy was in here the other night saying, oh, you can get a clutch for this much. The clutch itself was only like $1,000, okay? The flywheel had to be dealt with, and, after replacing everything, the labor was the big part. It was 12 hours of labor, and that was the big chunk of it, so... Okay, so Yeah, sorry about turnout. Okay, Nomadic, yes, it is a yearly fee, but they base it off your miles. Now, $1,700, I believe, is cheaper than what I'm paying at Schneider. Schneider, I'm paying $38 a week, so 38 times 52 comes out to $1,976. So it's actually cheaper than Schneider. So that's another advantage, Fred, is that you can actually save money from what you pay at the Snyder for the Snyder Plate. Okay, what's going on with small pour? Um, I'm reading comments here. So yeah, Mike Mentor says they don't make it easy. That's for sure. They were helpful. I'm sure they get a lot of people that ask a lot of questions, and I was surprised. My first snag when I first started this process a while ago was that I called them. They said they would email, and the email said you need to call us. So right away I was kind of like, screw it, I'm done for now. So I just got my ducks lined up in a row, got all the documentation before I actually filled out the application. I printed it out, I looked at it, and got all my documents in a row, especially since you can't save the PDF. So, the filled out PDF. So I wanted to have everything in one shot. So Johnny Sacco need 10K easy to do all this BS. It's kind of what I needed. This is, yeah, okay, we already answered that. You play, yeah, okay, everybody's answering that. Do you have to do your own Ifta now that you have your own plates? No, Motor T, that's still the carrier doing that. What I have to do is I have to keep the Ifta documents that says how many miles I run in each state. That is up to you. But if you got a good ELD program or your carrier does, then you can just go off your IFTA reports off of that. That's how you do it. But no, the IFTA is still on Snyder, okay? And it will be on my next company when I go over there. So, and everybody kind of knows where I'm going. So no, you don't have to track your own IFTA, but you do have to track your miles, but it's easy because you just write down all the miles off the PDF. So, okay, Jeff already answered that question. And yeah, it does give you more control. Where's the Snyder Plate from? State. It's from Indiana. So the trucks and trailers are plated out of Indiana. Every now and then you'll find one of our older trailers that are plated in Illinois, but that's it. But they're all out of Indiana. Does insurance need to change with new plates? No, Johnny. I can still keep Schneider's insurance. It's not a big deal. Now, there are a lot of people that have left Snyder, such as CPAP and McGee Films. They had to go get their own insurance because the Schneider insurance is exclusive for Schneider ICs only. So, a lot of people have been getting good quotes from OIDA. Okay, and it's comparable. It's about the same as Schneider's rate wise, except we're paying by the month and not by the week. Peterbilt Mark says Cali charges you based on gross weight for 80K in a new truck. You're looking at 13K a year. That doesn't seem right, Peterbilt Mark. That doesn't seem right at all. Bobtail physical damage is what I had to have, Daniel. Yeah, you need to find a cheaper one. Now, people have said you could plate your truck in other states. I don't know how that, with all the Missouri documentation I had to have, I don't see how that's possible, but that's beyond my knowledge, and I didn't even look into it. Now, a trailer is a different story, so. Yeah, McGee Films is $10 a week cheaper than Schneider. 1942. The extras for the vehicle value. The vehicle value is usually that might be a sales tax that you're thinking of. Hey Harold, what's up? So, but yeah, so I hope that helps. If you guys got any other questions, every state is different. And, Jeffrey Like says Russ Maynard just got his California plate and is around 2,000. Russ Maynard is another Snyder IC, and I think he's got his own authority. So I don't know if he's officially left yet, but he's almost there. So, but guys, having your own plate can save you money. And if not, it'll at least give you more control. So like I said, I could accidentally drop a trailer off my fifth wheel tomorrow. And Snyder, that's an instant cancellation of your lease. And I'd be screwed on trying to get home. So imagine trying to get all that documentation. Because what Missouri is going to do is they're going to send me, they're supposed to send me an email tomorrow, all the temporary tags, and I would put that in my windshield, and then have the documents on my truck, and then the plate, the actual physical license plate, is supposed to be here Saturday. Jeff says Russ is pulling his first load this weekend under his own numbers. Congratulations to Russ. Russ, if you're watching, congratulations. That's why we haven't heard from you lately, because you're quite busy. Rent a trailer and book a load home. So the next step for me is to get a trailer. Okay. There are some in Michigan that I'm looking at, and the sales guy and I are going to have a conversation tomorrow. It's looking to be pretty good. It's somebody that Jeff referred me to, and it might be a good deal. Harold, the clutch is done. The clutch was done yesterday afternoon. It drives like a dream. I checked out all the work, and it looks good. And I forgot to put my truck in off-duty driving. So when they test drove, it actually went on duty. So I'm hoping I didn't have any critical events like they slammed on the brakes or something. But they drove it out to Stratford and back. But the truck's driving like a dream now, and I've got 2 loads booked for this weekend. And Harold, it was $3,745, which I think I told you that yesterday. So, if it's cutting out a lot, guys, all my live feeds that I've been watching tonight have been cutting out. So, I'm not sure what's going on. YouTube's screwing up again. So, but it looks good on my end. So, but documentation and organization is extremely important. It's taken me 3.5 years to figure this out. And yeah, it's been fun. So Harold says, awesome. I left mine today for alignment and clutch check. I still have a front end alignment issue. And other than that, knock on wood, truck's doing good. So, that's all I've got, guys. So if you guys, I didn't do my normal Saturday Night Live because everybody else was doing Saturday Night Live. And, I know I've been kind of MIA. I've been off work. So dealing with the truck and dealing with the paperwork and my mom being hurt and dealing with all that kind of stuff. I've had a lot on my plate, so. Jeffrey Like says, wait till you watch that long video. Yeah, I saw that. I started to watch it after you emailed it to me, Jeff. And then I saw it was 20 minutes long. I'm like, oh, I'll watch this later. So. But, well, thank you, Pneumatic Nana. Thank you. Well, I hope this helps, and like I said, having your own plate is kind of important. And, here's something else I learned that I did not know this. So, when I had my Peterbilt, I had, you have what they call your Schedule A, or not Schedule A, Exhibit A, okay? That's basically your certificate of authorized operation of the truck. And basically it's your lease agreement signed that you have with, say, Snyder, okay? When I switched over from the Peterbilt to the Kenworth, I did all that off the PDF because I forgot that form. So I had to sign the PDF real quick so the Qualcomm people could activate my Qualcomm, and I took off. I did not have a printed copy of that Exhibit A in my truck. And so I found a copy of it online in one of my email addresses, and I printed it out, and because I needed it for the documentation for the plate, and now I've got a copy of my truck. So that could have been bad news. So Harold says, hey, it's all going to be worth it. Right. The repair comes at a bad time because I really don't have a whole lot of room to play around with the trailer. So, and all my reserves are done, guys. All my reserves are gone. So I cannot have a major repair for a minute. So once I hit the spot market, do a few loads, I'll be back to normal. So, but small pour, you going to bed? Yeah, McGee Films. I'm still with Snyder. I've got 2 Snyder loads going to Oklahoma and back. So, by the way, I like Small Pour's new hairdo. I think that's pretty good. I dig it, man. I dig it. You definitely look more intimidating now. So, but my wife's laughing at me. So, yeah, it's a summer cut. Yeah, he did it 2 months too early. Someone said Wabash will sell or lease trailers for $0 down. Right. And, you know, the price that I found on a used trailer is really good. It's a good condition trailer, and Jeff has seen it firsthand. So, because it's up in his area. So it all depends on what the wheel and deal guy wants to do. Now, if he wants like $5,000 down, I'm going to tell him there's no deal because I don't have that. But yes, I've been talking to several drivers that are in this chat, and we've exchanged information on trailers, and it was James Best that kind of pointed out, because he's looking at the same trailer dealership. So, what's up, Christian Trucker? Weird Racing. I was looking at temp trailer rental for a short time. There's a few snags on that, Weird Racing. Extra, as far as I know, you can't just walk in and lease it. Your company that you're signed on to has to lease that trailer. That's how that works. So whoever you sign on with is going to have to sign that paper and then basically charge you for that trailer. I think that's how Traveloco does it as well. That's extra, as far as I know. The other leasing companies, I don't know how they work. A lot of how much are good used trailers, Peterbilt Mark. The ones I'm looking at are $17,000, okay? Or $18,500 is what they got priced, but we're going to talk them down. It's for a 5-year-old trailer. Basically what happened was this company went out of business, and they repoed all the trailers. They're all in good shape. They look good on the picture. Jeff said you've seen them. They look good. And so now it's funny. If you go to truckpaper.com, there's a lot of crap on there. There's like trailers from 1995. They want a couple of grand for. You have to be careful because I want a food grade trailer. I'm trying to get a plate trailer. And, like the DuraPlate kind of style. And, so you can't go too old on those. And all the brand new 2019 trailers in the truck paper says call for price, call for price, call for price. And what I'm finding out is they're all about the same price, all about the same area, but anywhere from $26,000 to $29,000. depending on how many bells and whistles you want. There's a really nice dealership in Cincinnati, and I think that's the one Big Yeti got his trailer from. There was a black with the stainless steel front and back, and it had aluminum wheels, man. That thing was nice, but it said call for price. I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably too expensive for me. I just need a standard, don't look at me too long type trailer. They've only got one left, Harold. I got dibs on it. Actually, Harold, get a hold of me later and I'll tell you the dealership. You can get $15K with cash. Well, I don't have $15K cash laying around there. Nomadic. Yeah, stainless is pretty. Check eBay. Saw 2016 utility, $23K. On eBay? Huh. Yeah, that's the thing. Trailers, it's so weird. You talk to some of the dealerships and they act like they're the hardest thing to get. And then, then you pass by one dealership and there's like 20 used ones. So you kind of wonder what's going on there. So, borrow from family. I don't know how rich you think my family is. When is CPAP going to go live? Guess it's not every day, bro. So, you're getting an orange one? Now, guys, Snyder does sell their old trailers. They're not pretty. And I think, like Trucker's Coach, he bought one. And I believe his trailer was in the shop this week. That's what he said in one of his live feeds. So, 1,500 down. Says McGee Films. Don't buy an old one. They're too old for some brokers. Right. If you buy a trailer, you want to get something less than 10 years old. And the carrier I'm signing on with has put that stipulation that he doesn't want anything less than 10 or older than 10 years. Hopefully the trailer shop will go smooth. If this guy does a deal with me tomorrow, that's it. After that, it's a matter of running these 2 loads. So I'll have a little bit of money. And then we'll work on the transition from there. Okay. You want a food grade trailer, so that means you don't want wood sides and you don't want a fiberglass roof. Most 10-year-old type trailers have those 2 things, and you don't want that. I remember at Landstar, I went and picked up a load, and the guy was just fuming because they had to line the entire trailer with cardboard because it wasn't food grade, because it had all these holes in the wood and everything. I said, well, the agent never told me that. And she's like, he was so mad because he was like, we tell them every single time, and it wasn't in the load, comments or anything. Snyder has all plate trailers, so they're all metal on the sides, even the old ones. So I'll be looking forward to pulling a air slide trailer again. Now I did find a used trailer. I forget where it was, Harold, on Truck Paper that was actually a decent price, and it had the right way scales on it already on it. That was intriguing to me too. But I would rather get something either locally here or something that close to Michigan, to where I could just pick it up on the way to my new carrier. So, that way I can physically see it too. If it's in Michigan, Jeff's already seen this trailer, so, but locally, I'll probably just order something new if I can't wheel and deal. We'll see. You're gonna slip out with a 179 trailer, and what's funny, I was talking to James Best. He hasn't been around the block for very long, and he asked me what the difference was with an air ride trailer and a spring ride trailer. And I forgot he's never driven an air ride trailer. I'm like, dude, you'll love it. Kind of my thoughts on the new one in Atlanta, says Harold Wright. Harold, that's funny. Um, yeah, James Best. That was a good conversation we had. And James, I followed through with your information, and I think hopefully it'll pay off. So we're racing, yeah, spring ride. The first time that I ever pulled a spring ride trailer, it was I had to pull a couple of containers for Transland, and that was weird. And of course, you know how well those chassis are maintained, so because the company doesn't own those, so they don't care. But the first time I pulled the Snyder trailer, it was weird. I thought it felt like I had like 10,000 in the box, and I realized I was feeling more of the bumps. So yeah, I'm looking forward. And the other thing I'm looking forward to, guys, is that people might let me over when I need to get in the left lane, and they won't be all like, "Oh, Snyder going slow." Gonna play Yellow Flames on the orange sides. There is a company burger that they've bought a bunch of old Snyder trailers, but they're using yellow printing on there for their company name. I see them up in Ohio and Indiana all the time. It's kind of ugly, man. It's an ugly color, but it's obvious, guys, that I'm making a change. And here's the thing. It's to be at the next level. I have no issues with Snyder whatsoever. Okay. Here's what happened. So Monday morning, I booked a load out of Fordland, Missouri, which is 30 miles from my house. But there was no empties in the area, so they were sending me all the way to Joplin to get one. Okay. So I get to Joplin, I pick up the trailer. That's when I realized that things were definitely going south pretty quickly with the clutch. Okay. And I was halfway between Joplin and Springfield, pulled over in the rest area there near the TA there, Mount Vernon, exit 44-ish. And I called Snyder and had him pull my loads off me. No problem. They wished me luck, and I dropped my trailer at an undisclosed parking lot. Somebody ended up snagging it. Load planners, or not, the box planners knew where it was. They picked it up. Now, the worst part about that is that I wasted probably about 160 miles to go get the trailer. I should have put that truck in the shop last week, is what I should have done. But, sometimes you're stubborn. You're like, oh, I want to make money. Let's see if we can push it. You don't want to do that. And, but I should have put it in the shop last week when I knew I was going to be home all week. So, but Snyder was super cool about it, and tonight or tomorrow morning I'll have to go to the Qualcomm, do a few things on my workflow so I can get another empty, because the other load that I'm picking up Friday is literally 30 miles from here. It's a different place, but I guarantee that I'll probably have to go all the way to Joplin to get a trailer. So, but gear grabbers in Hawaii. Aloha, Mr. Gear Grabber. It all depends on your BOA. Yes, yeah, McGee Films. I've heard some horror stories. So, but Daniel Lamy has a problem with Snyder, yeah, because they won't hire you. Don't you love that bucking bronco effect with the heavy load hitting the bridge joints in Indiana? Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a smoother ride for sure. So, but Jeffrey Life says getting ELDs tomorrow, Gear Grabber. Yep, I can't wait to watch the video. So, Michael Dow. Hey, Snorto. Golden Child has a trailer for sale for $7,000. It's in Atlanta. Pretty good shape. Check out his YouTube page. All right, Michael Dow. Harold, you might want to look at that too, since you live in Atlanta or near Atlanta there. That's the thing, guys. If you follow Cannell, he was talking to Shooter McGavin, who bought a trailer from Chad Boblik for a really good price. I believe it's over 10 years old, but, he still seems to be making money. So, but I figured, a new trailer is going to be free from a lot of issues for a while. And, and that's the other nice thing I'm looking forward to. A lot of people are like, well, aren't you going to lose revenue by not being able to drop and hook, 24/7 on a lot of freight? I'm like, yeah, but the rates you're going to make is going to make up for that, where you don't have to run full on all the time. And I'm looking forward to not, because, when you do a lot of drop and hook at a big company like Snyder, you never know what you're going to get. You can get a trailer that is perfectly brand new and you're good to go, and you might have it for a day, and then you trade it in for a trailer that has issues. And so it'll either cost you downtime or a possible DOT inspection that can go against your score. So by having the same trailer all the time, you're going to know when things go wrong. You're going to know, the brakes and the tires and the chambers, and you're going to know when things go south. There won't be any surprises. You can have a really good day here, and all of a sudden you pick up a trailer that's got flat spots on the bottom of the tires, or there's another major. I've picked up trailers with no handle on the landing gear. I know a Snyder driver that he found a handle on the ground and he keeps it in his side box just for that occasion. Yeah, you're not wasting fuel looking for a trailer. You're right, Trucker Eric. I wasted 160 miles. I've had loads that were literally, I delivered in Springfield, and my next load picked up in Springfield, but because I got rid of the trailer, I had to go all the way to Joplin and come back just to pick up a load here in town that should have been a 3-mile deadhead became 140-mile deadhead. So Brent, Florida, what's up? So I'm looking forward to the change, guys. It's the next level, and for those of you who are at Snyder, I think it's still a good company. I still think that things are good here, but it's time for me to go to the next step. Sorry, I got sneezed. So, well, Christian Trucker, I'm pulling for you, and hopefully we got your foot in the door. So, because here's, Steve and I were talking about this earlier. CPAP just went live. Tell him he's a dork for stepping on me. Tell him he's impatient. Everybody go to his channel and tell him he's impatient. So, one of the things that, I don't know, that might be another video. CPAP's right. Maybe I need to get off here. Hopefully this information will help you with the Missouri IRP. The key is knowledge and organization. That's how you get through that. So, Thomas Wilson, I've been looking at trailers new to best prices have been at M&K in Wyoming, Michigan, at a place in San Antonio. I wonder if Jeffrey's trailer came from there. Oh, you'll have to ask Jeff that. Maria Lynn, how's it going? Hey Juan, what's up? I just talked about how you get your own plate here in Missouri. That's all. That's all I talked about. So anyways, guys, everybody go check out CPAP. CPAP went from Snyder to Advanced Trucking, and he's pulled his first spot market load. So you Snyder guys that have never dealt with the brokers before, you're in for a treat. I've dealt with it before, so it's not going to be such a big change for me. But for you Snyder guys who've never done it before, it's a whole new ball game. Welcome to the big leagues. Juan, I'm doing all right. Health-wise, I'm doing okay. So, all right, we got some trolls in here, and we're done. So, thanks for watching. Hope this video helps somebody. If not, oh well, I tried. So, again, everything in the beginning of this video is based off of Missouri only. Your state will vary. So, take it easy and have a good day.